Hello everyone, and welcome to the game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from MrFingers, and he's in the Musashi, a tier 9 Japanese battleship. He's on the map Crash Zone Alpha, and well, it's a ranked battle. So everyone here is tier 9, there is only one destroyer, and there are 2 cruisers. Now the friendly team has sent 4 ships down here in the south, and they have 2 in the north. We've already seen 2 enemy ships there in the north. Well, looks like the enemy has 3 ships up there. Then again, the Neptune is awfully broadside, so we'll see. Yeah, now both teams have 2 ships on the north flank. That's nice. Now, the friendly Seattle should be a little bit careful, because he's kind of charging into 2 battleships without cover. And that's really not what you want to do with a Seattle. So you want the battleship in the front pushing against those battleships and the Seattle in a little bit behind, providing fire support and hoping that the Friedrich can draw some fire. Now here in the south, should be looking good for the friendlies because they have 1 more ship. The enemy destroyer is obviously here somewhere, but the friendlies have a black, so they do have radar. The friendlies actually sent a radar here. They have 1 radar down here and 1 radar up there, so they are well equipped to deal with the enemy destroyer on both flanks. But considering how soon they kept A, we assume the enemy destroyer would be around here. Now there is an Alaska, so the black has to be careful. But it looks like the black is staying on the friendly side of the cap circle, and he is kind of having his nose pointed away, so the black is... well, the black should be in a position to run away when radar. Well, I'm not exactly sure how much distance there is. You wanna be on the outer edge of the... like, there's nothing wrong with baiting a radar, but you wanna make sure that you're on the outer edge so that you can escape rather quickly. And it looks like the black has been found. And it looks like that black... ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. Yeah, that didn't work, so now I would assume it was the radar that caught him. He could have been spotted. If he was spotted by the shutlet, he should have immediately smoked and ran. Then again, I mean, there are so few enemy ships, I guess he didn't expect to take so much damage in such a short amount of time. That's a bit unfortunate, but the black survived. And the black is now still a credible radar threat for the enemy Jutland. The enemy Alaska is sailing more away, so that's good for the friendlies. Now, they're in the north, unfortunately. I mean, the Seattle got taken out, which is a bit unfortunate, but not really unexpected. The Seattle was a little bit too close without any cover in the open against 2 battleships. And now the friendly Friedrich is getting kind of surrounded and crossfired. Now MrFingers has engaged this Friedrich, and well, I mean, he's currently in the process of turning. It's always a risky thing to turn in front of an enemy battleship, but he doesn't want to stay inside the secondaries of the Friedrich. So basically, when you're fighting another battleship in a battleship, you want to play to your strengths. Well, I mean, generally speaking, you want to always play to the strengths of your ship, and not the strengths of the enemy ship. Right, so fighting inside the enemy secondaries only benefits the Friedrich, so it's a good thing to just try to stay slightly out of it and attack him at a bit longer range. Now on the bright side, the Alaska seems to... well, I mean, as bright side, the Freddies have lost the sea cap, but it will take the Friedrich a little bit of time to cap this and then reinforce down here. So the friendlies have an opportunity to sink something. The Alaska seems to have retreated quite a bit, that gives the black more room for movement. So the black could... well, I mean, it's problematic. If he smokes inside A, he can't see the Alaska approach. The black might just want to focus on catching the enemy Jutland in radar, like smoking up himself, then radaring the enemy, hoping that he gets some support. The friendly Ibuki is a little bit far in the back, but I assume he just wants to keep distance from the battleship currently. Are they just blind firing the black in his smoke right now? Certainly looks like it. And it looks like they succeeded. If you are on very low health and they are accurately blind firing you in your smoke, maybe, just maybe, shooting isn't the best option. Like as a destroyer, you can still use your torpedoes. He could have still made use of his radar, other things there. Now losing the black there is certainly very unfortunate. Now it's a tricky situation. The enemy is camping. Like, if the friendlies aren't careful, they will end up in a crossfire from sea. They never managed to sink this Friedrich so far, so the Iowa is not going in there. I mean, maybe the friendlies could have just pushed the Friedrich. Like the Iowa and the Musashi together. They certainly need to get rid of that Friedrich before the other one comes from the sea camp. And, well, MrFingers here is quite a bit broadside. So, yeah, I mean, if he pushes the Friedrich, then he gets into secondaries again. I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. I would probably prefer that over showing that much broadside to a Friedrich. There's also the other Friedrich at the sea camp. I assume MrFingers wants to get inside the A cap and use that island as some cover. But he's playing with fire here. There is also the Jutland, and well, he will soon be in torpedo range, which is something to consider. Now, not that the friendlies have any tools to deal with a destroyer anymore, which is kind of problematic. They don't have their own destroyer to spot, and they don't have any radar. On the bright side, this Friedrich should be going down now. Now, the friendlies want is like... Since they lost sea, they want another camp, because otherwise they will suffer long term. And can you get a shot into Alaska here? The problem is just like camping with a battleship is rather difficult, because they'll probably just spot and interrupt you. There's also the Jutland. If you are sitting here unmoving, then you're an easy target for torpedoes. It's generally a problem with a ship like the Musashi. The Musashi isn't the best thing to be moving around too much, because the turret traverse is very bad. So ideally you'd want to find a nice position, sit there angled and shoot things, but if there is a destroyer you really don't want to just sit still. So, we haven't seen that Friedrich for a while. So the question is, where will he appear? I mean, for all we know he's pushing B. It would make most sense, I think, for him to actually go towards A, but who knows? Oh. I guess he's pushing B. So, the other friendly ships are a little bit passive here, but I mean it makes sense for the Ibuki to stay in the back since he's a cruiser. And it also makes sense for MrFingers to do the tanking right now, because he is the healthiest ship they have. And of course he has to be careful, he wants to angle against the Friedrich, he has to be aware of the Alaska because we don't know where that's going to pop up, and he has to dodge the torps from the Jutland, because he's the most likely target for the Jutland to... Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, thankfully, Musashi has a pretty good torpedo belt. So, well, he dodged the second salvo, but he is currently broadside to a Friedrich. He's trying to correct that by angling, but of course the Musashi isn't the fastest ship there. And oh, the Citadel is a Friedrich. That's a rare sight, but a most welcome one currently. And he earned himself a high caliber. So, at some point this Shetland will torpedo again, but there is also the Alaska to take care of. Like, if the Alaska comes around here and shoots broadside, shoots armor piercing into his broadside, he'll go down rather quickly. So that's something to be concerned about. Once again, he's also in the secondaries of Friedrich. He's slowing down here. And again, doesn't look like the Alaska is trying all too much currently. The friendly Iowa is charging. On the bright side, like, the Friedrich is currently angling against the Iowa more, so that gives MrFingers a lot better angle to shoot at. Of course, the problem with the Iowa's a little bit aggressive push there is that he's pushing into the guns of the Alaska and he's already on very low health. And let's just see. Yeah, that's not looking good for the Iowa. The Ibuki is also on very low health, and the Shetland is currently trying to cap A. So once again, there are no tools remaining to act. Well, I mean, the Ibuki might have hydro actually, but there are not any tools available to actually spot the destroyer, stop him from camping. Now the friendlies were, I think, already at 960 something points. Now they are down to 922. Not that the Iowa could escape the Alaska at this point. He pushed, like, if he wouldn't have pushed so far, probably would have been better. And look at that, the enemy destroyer just made a mistake, it feels like, because he is kind of... Well, well, the Ibuki is down too, so it's down to MrFingers. And well, the friendlies have still a few more points, but the enemy team has just more caps. Ships. And there are the troops. He'll take... Will he take 2? No, he only takes 1. And there is even a radar. So it looks like he isn't damage conning the flooding. Now he is. So yeah, he was just waiting for the second cell. Like, he didn't want to damage con the first salvo, then get hit by the second. And well, Alaska broadside peeking, not good idea. I guess the Alaska was hoping for the smoke, but the smoke firing penalty of an Alaska is pretty. And it looks like the Shetland just sat here, despite his torps being on cooldown, and I don't know what he thought would happen. Like, the Shetland could have easily just sailed north. But, you know, he didn't. MrFingers earned himself 2,660 base experience, and certainly nicely done on his part. He also achieved the Kraken, First Blood and a high caliber, scoring 163,000 points of damage and sinking 5 out of 6 enemies. Yeah, I think he contributed a lot to this victory. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.